Hello and welcome to the channel for part 4 in the series of bringing back to life Barney the barn find 1981 Honda CT110 Trail. If you saw part 3 you'll know that I managed to get Barney running, but it was not all good news. He was smoking really badly, burning lots of oil, so I decided to remove the cylinder head. That wasn't a pretty sight inside there, so out came the engine. Let's take a look at that. Here we have Barney's engine and the cylinder and cylinder head. I did video the dismantling, but when I went to have a look at it, all the footage was out of focus, so sorry about that. I can't really put it back together and do it again. Let's just have a look at what I found. Firstly, when I removed the cylinder head. Well, there was a lot of oil around the head gasket, and when I looked at the two seals, so there's two oil seals that fit around each of the cylinder head studs, and that's where the oil gallery is, and that seals the oil. One was fine, but the bottom one, as you can see, was busted, so we had oil leaking internally and externally. We also had, can you see there, a crack in the cylinder head gasket right there. So why didn't I just put a new head gasket on and put Barney back together? Because when I cleaned up the cylinder head, I'll move in a bit closer, see if you can see this. Well, I hope that's in focus, but as you can see, all the damage all around the side of the combustion chamber there. There's been something inside the cylinder. Obviously it was harder than the soft aluminium of the head and the piston. Initially I thought it might have been a piston ring, so that's why I decided to remove the cylinder, but it's not a piston ring. I'm not really sure what it was. So obviously when I saw that, Barney had to be dismantled further. And so as you can see in there, in the inlet port, it's black with oil and soot, so the inlet valve's not been sealing correctly too. And so with the cylinder, first thing we notice on the bottom side there, wet with oil, so oil leaks. So wet with oil, there's been oil leaking from here. This is where the damaged seal was, so that seal was there. So we've had oil leaking there. We had the head gasket cracked there. I don't know if you can see, so inside the bore there are score marks all the way around. I don't know if you can see, it's difficult to see. Score marks all the way around, so this bore needs some work. Another thing, the two tracks there, deep ruts into the steel where the cam chain has been rubbing on there, and that was the same in the cylinder head. If you can see that there, the two gouges, deep gouges. I hope you can see that once again. I keep repeating those words. You can see the marks where whatever's been in there has damaged the piston crown there. Score marks all the way around, but the rings are intact. So it wasn't a broken piston ring, which would have made a larger mark than that. So something small's been in there. Who knows what that is? I don't know if it's why the bike was originally parked up years ago, or if it happened after I managed to get Barney running recently. Whatever it is, Barney needs a top end rebuild. And sometimes these plugs, especially this centre one, the larger one, can be difficult to remove. And here's a good trick, especially if you live in Australia. Because the slots in there are curved, if you use a screwdriver, what can happen is, because the screwdriver doesn't fit snugly in there, it will damage the plug. So what you can do, a 20-cent coin here in Australia fits perfectly in the bigger one, and a 10-cent coin fits perfectly in the smaller one. As you can see from this top one, it's been over tightened, and what happens when you do that the lip around the top of the plug breaks away. Ask me how I know that. So this one should come out easily. I've had that one out before, so I'll swap that for a different one. And the bottom one, so with a 20-cent coin and a small shifter, easy. And that's probably a good place to stop this video. In part 5 I'll be removing the high-low gearbox, this left hand side cover, the rotor, the stator, changing the front sprocket, and also removing the old worn timing chain. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, it's free. I need all the support I can get, and I'll see you again soon in the next video.